teach me wasabi, so I'll grow up successfully. To make this happen, you'll agree that mathematics is the key. I know you teach effectively, so teach me wasabi.
Hello, my name is Everard Barrett, also known as Professor B. Today, I will take you through highlights of Book 1 of Mathematics Power Learning for Children. Traditionally, children's first experience with numbers is counting from 1 to 10 in arithmetic. As a result, we often see them doing the following: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Have you ever seen that? Clearly, if a child counts like that, they don't understand number. They don't know what 1 means, or what 2 means, or what 3 means. If they don't know that, how can they count from 1 to 10? Consequently, this program allows children to learn the meaning of 1 and 2 and 3 and so on. Hence, when they count in the future, you will get accurate counting. In this program, the primary manipulatives being used are children's fingers. This use of fingers for teaching mathematics on the early level brings a huge advantage. Firstly, the children's fingers are controlled by the brain. Their movements are controlled by the brain. Secondly, the fingers are sensorial. Thirdly, they're with children at all times. They're also, like other manipulatives, visual and kinesthetic. Other manipulatives, of course, are quite useful for teaching certain math concepts. Although we use fingers, we would like you to understand that we eliminate counting on them for knowing the lower addition and subtraction facts. Be aware that our 3 books have accomplished 2 important objectives. 1, the content of arithmetic is all connected up. Secondly, connected concepts in our books are never separated over time, as is often the case with traditional mathematics presentations. If time separates connected concepts, learners will not see those connections and consequently will not learn the mathematics involved. As an example of this is that if we separate woods from wolf from grandma over time, then children will not learn the story of Little Red Riding Hood. Now that you're aware of the connected developmental flow of our program, think of it as steps on a ladder. Be sure that your child achieves mastery at each step before moving to the next. Having ensured mastery at each step, you will be assured of a smooth flow through the program. Without mastery at each step before moving forward, you will sense that something is wrong later on. Something will be missing. If this happens, you simply back up and come forward again. You may start off a 3- to 6-year-old child with the activities on page 3 of Mathematics Power Learning for Children, Book 1. These activities will also be useful for older children if their basic arithmetic is poor. You will notice that when your learners work on the number 1, there are 3 activities: introducing, matching, and showing. However, when you work on the numbers 2, 3, 4, and 5, there are 4 activities listed in Book 1: introducing, matching, showing, and mixed practice. There is also an addendum of a 5th activity, which I will shortly demonstrate. Let me now go to the board and demonstrate these activities for you. I will now demonstrate the activities for introducing the number 1. You hold up one finger and tell the child, when I ask you how many, say 1. How many? The child says 1, and you keep throwing up 1 each time asking how many, the child responding 1 each time. That's the introduction of 1. At this stage in the introduction, only you are showing fingers. Then we go to the matching. You ask children to match ones like this. They are matching each one that you show. Be sure you use both hands. The third phase, showing. At this stage, the child only show fingers. You say, show me 1. The child shows 1. Show me a different one. They keep changing different ones. Show me a different one, and so on. Then we go to 2. Of course, you want to wait for mastery with the number 1 at each step. Then you go to 2. These are 2 fingers. When I ask you how many, say 2. How many? The child says 2. And then you keep throwing up 2s that are side by side. After that, you begin to throw up 2s with spaces in between. Every now and then, as you're showing 2, ask the child to respond when you throw up 1. Try to catch them, make it sort of a game. But there's one more thing in the introduction of 2. You want to use both hands. It goes like this. How many? The child says 2. Then you say 1 down, 1 up. How many? The child says 2. You wiggle your fingers. How many fingers are wiggling? The child says 2. And then you separate them. How many? The child says 2. So these are 2 fingers. Now you've introduced a wide variety of 2s. 2s without spaces, 2s with spaces, 2s using both hands. Now that's the introduction of 2. We go to the matching. Can you make 2 like this? Can you make 2 like this? Can you make 2 like this? They're matching the 2s you show. Then showing. Can you show me 2? Show me a different 2. Show me a different 2. Now, of course, if some of these are hurting their hands, for example, if they can't make a 2 like this, then have them press it on some surface. It may be the table or a board. Then we go to mixed practice. Mixed practice goes like this. Do you have fast eyes? Let me see if I can catch you. How many? How many? How many? How many? Don't keep them up there. It must be quick. How many what kind goes like this. By the way, how many what kind is an addendum to the program. It is something we've been doing recently. It is not in the text, but I would like you to do it now. It goes like this. How many? The child says 2. This must be done with 2 hands. So the child says 2. How many over here? 1. How many over here? 1. Then you say this is a 1, 1, 2. What kind of 2 is this? The child repeats, it's a 1, 1, 2. From then on, you can ask how many? They say 2. What kind of 2? A 1, 1, 2. This we've run through the 2s. Of course, again, you want to work for mastery at each step. Then you go to 3 and you do the same thing. How many? 3. How many with spaces? 3. Without spaces first, without spaces, then with spaces. Lots of those, every now and then throwing a 2 or a 1. And then we go to 2 hands in the introduction. How many? 3. 1 down, 1 up. How many? Still 3. How many are waving? 3. Still 3. This frees children up to respond accurately to 3s like this, or like this, and so on. A wide variety of 3s, every now and then throwing in a 1 or a 2. That's introduction of 3. Now to the matching. Match all those different 3s that I showed. Of course, in the second stage, matching, Both you and the child are showing fingers. The child is matching your 3s. Then showing. Only the child shows at this point. Show me 3, show me a different 3, and so on. Then mixed practice means you're going to be flicking up quickly anything from 3 to 2 to 1. How many? How many? How many? And so on. How many what kind? How many? 3. How many on this side? 2. How many on this side? 1. This is a 2, 1, 3. What kind of 3 is this? A 2, 1, 3. How many? 2. What kind of 2 is this? A 1, 1, 2. And then you go through 4 similarly. Be careful to introduce a wide variety of 4s. 4s like this, 4s like this. Use both hands, you see? And then there's a matching different 4s. Of course, in the introduction, be sure you throw in some 1s and 2s and 3s. Make it gamey. You say to children every now and then, I'm going to try to catch you. After the matching of different 4s, which you show them, you go to showing, and you say to the child, you show me 4. Show me a different 4. Show me a different 4. Now, of course, in the introduction, you be careful that you introduce 4s with both hands. You know, you've got to introduce 4s like this, and also 4s like this in the introduction. Then we go to mixed practice. You're throwing up any 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s rather rapidly. Then how many, what kind? How many? 4. What kind of 4? 3, 1, 4. How many? 4. What kind of 4? 2, 2, 4. Again, work to mastery, and repeat the same activity for 5. Please follow the book carefully. Please note that how many, what kind is not done for 10, 9, 8, 7, and 6 until later. I will let you know when. Now you may proceed to teach the meaning and recognition of the numbers 1 through 10 by carefully following and executing the instructions from pages 3 through 14 of Mathematics Power Learning for Children, Book 1. Remember, do not leave out any steps. Please be sure that as you move through Book 1, you practice the suggested facility exercises in Workbook 1. This is very important. Having flowed smoothly from page 3 through 14, continue to flow with careful attention to the instructions from pages 15 through 21. Stick to the letter of the word. Please be sure that with respect to counting forwards and backwards by 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s, your children must master 2 performances for each of them. 1 with fingers, followed by 1 without fingers. Continuing through pages 22 and 23, we offer the following addendum to be performed by 2 people at a time, 2 learners or learner and teacher. I will demonstrate this with my faithful assistant and son, Eric. Eric will hold up 8 fingers, and I will hold up 5, and we will touch fingers 1 to 1, like this. And Eric says,
I have more than you.
I have less than you.
I have 3 more than you.
I have 3 less than you.
My 8 is 3 more than your 5.
My 5 is 3 less than your 8. The learner must have sufficient practice in this activity with many different pairs of numbers. Continue to flow forward from pages 24 through 31. Be sure to practice the facility exercises in Workbook 1. Continuing through pages 32 and 33, we offer the following addendum after you have practiced the examples as outlined in this section of Book 1. I will now demonstrate this on the board with my assistant, Eric. Eric, when I touch these numbers and symbols, I want you to respond accurately. and carefully. Don't let me catch you. Put up 4 fingers. Do not go ahead of the pointer now. Now, how many fingers do you have, Eric?
7.
Correct. The purpose of the activities from pages 34 through 67 is mental mastery of the lower addition and subtraction facts. These are the first steps toward elimination of remediation with respect to addition, subtraction, and multiplication facts. I will now demonstrate the flow from the 10 chart to mastery of the addition and subtraction facts associated with 10. Before beginning with the 10 chart, however, you must have the learners perform with their fingers, as I will now demonstrate with my assistant, Eric. Eric will now demonstrate an addendum to the program, which will facilitate the activity to come.
9, 1, 10. 8, 2, 10. 7, 3, 10. 6, 4, 10. 5, 5, 10.
After the children have learned to perform this activity with their fingers to mastery, they must also learn to recite with mastery as follows: 9, 1, 10, 8, 2, 10, 7, 3, 10, 6, 4, 10, 5, 5, 10. When children have mastered these 2 performances, they are ready for the 10 chart. I will now go to the board to demonstrate the following from the 10 chart through to activities 1 through 6. This is the 10 chart, and the 10 chart is used in order to have children acquire mental mastery of the facts, addition and subtraction facts associated with 10. There are games we play that enable children to master these facts very quickly. Earlier, you saw a demonstration of the 9, 1, 10, the 8, 2, 10, the 7, 3, 10, the 6, 4, 10, and the 5, 5, 10. There's a game we play which enables children to move from this chart, which has all the numbers in there, to this chart with all the numbers gone without the 10, of course. The 10 remains. These are steps in the game we play. Step 1 is calling, and in this step, you say to the child, you must not say the number I say. If I say 7, you must say 3. If I say 4, you must say 6. And you do it rather rapidly. You say 6, they say 4, you say 2, they say 8, and you're jumping around like that. Do this for about 3 minutes. Try to make it gamey, not so fast as to overwhelm the child, not so slow as to bore them. Having done that for about 50, I catch you. So you erase, say, these 3. And then you say to them, what was here? They say 1. What was here? 3. What was here? 8. You jump around like that. Don't go in order, just jump around. They must not know where you are going.